Yo, what's going on? It's Mad Scientist. Alright, so I'm gonna show you guys how I do my bouncy drums, okay? So getting right into it here, I have got some melodies already loaded up with some sounds and bass and everything, pretty much like a finished track for the most part, and I'm just gonna add in the drum parts. Here's what it sounds like. There it is, pretty dope, right? As you can see down here, I have the hi-hats and the crash all muted because I'm just going to do the main part of the drums. I have a different tutorial where I show how I do my hats and everything, so watch that. Okay, anyways, so here's the basic layout that I got, right? I always take two kicks, okay, two kick drums, and then I'll do like three snares, or I'll do a clap and two snares, or I'll do like a clap, a snare, and a percussion. But basically, I've got two of the bass instruments, and then I pretty much will have like three mid instruments, right? So, the basic foundation for what I lay out is always the same. Okay, I'm gonna be doing my stuff in half time. Okay, which means I'm gonna spread it out here a little bit. So it's gonna be, I'll show you. It's on the one and the three instead of one and two, right? So this is one, this is two, this is three, this is four, right? I'm gonna do one and three. Okay, so it's kick. Usually you would get like a kick snare, kick snare, kick snare. Dude, if they did something like this, right? Okay, but I want that trap feel, right? So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to put it on the one and the three. Okay, so here, da 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 done. Okay, just like that. And I always do my first kick and my first snare and my first kick and my clap. I always do them just like this, okay. Excuse me. The variations come from the added drum sounds that I have, right? So next I'm gonna put in some kicks and some snares. Now, for the most part, I'm gonna be utilizing the ones and like the ones and the threes pretty much throughout the whole thing, right? So I've got one and three here, as in 1, 2, 3, but you've also got 1 and 3 here, right? 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'll probably see. I really only, unless I'm gonna do like like a little boom, boom, boom at the end of like a 4-bar count or something. I pretty much always, like 99% of the time, I'm gonna set it into 1 or 3s. So maybe that'll help you when you're laying out your drums. I don't know. Anyways, so let's see. We'll put one like right here. Yeah. See, this is a 3, like 1, 2, 3, right? 1. And then for the sake of time, I'm just going to copy this over, and then I'll show you an example of where I might put it on a 4, right? Like right here. You know what I mean? See, it gives it that little boom, 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 boom type of sound right there, which is dope, right? Anyways, so now I've got my kicks laid out, and now I'm gonna add in my snare sounds, and it's pretty much gonna be the same thing. I'm gonna lay my snares, my snare 2 and my snare 3 in the 1 and 3 positions throughout the sequence, right? So like I might do like a 3 and a 1 here, right? Bump. Maybe that'll work. So see, like I said, 90. Maybe I should have said like 80% of the time I put it on ones and threes. I do like utilizing these little rolls, right? But the main spots are gonna be, I wouldn't lay this 2 in by itself, although it doesn't sound horrible. Yeah, it's got a delay feeling on it, so I mean, I guess I guess you could stick it there and it still works, but I'm gonna do this for right now. Right? And I'm gonna do the same thing right here. Again, this is just for the sake of time. I might add some variation if I was being serious about this. Maybe put that there. Woo! That's fire right there, right? Okay. So now what I'm going to do real quick is bring up the little graph editor, right? And then I had delayed there because I had to look up here to see what it actually was. All right. And then I'm going to adjust the velocity just a little bit on these. You know what I mean? And then on these here too, on these other snares. There. Yeah. So it's got a nice little groove to it, right? Okay, so now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna adjust the volumes just a tad because the snare one is my main. Snare kick one and snare one are my mains. So these other sounds are gonna be like secondary. So I'm gonna drop the volume of them just a smidge, right? Just a little bit, and then I'm gonna go into the what is this thing called? The mixer, right? And I'm gonna do some adjustments in here. So to give you guys a quick rundown of what I usually would do in here, let's see. I've got my kick 1, 2, snare 1, snare 2, 3, hi-hats, and the crash, and all my other sounds are over here, right? So on the kick, this is just what I like to do, okay? It's by no means no golden rule, but I'll lay a little bit of a low pass filter on it. I cut it around 5K. It keeps all the body in there, but if there's any high end stuff, I cut that out. I like to try to keep my high end open for the hats to give it a nice little crispy sound. When it comes in for the hats, they don't have to be super loud. You can just clear out all the frequency for them to be able to pop through. Okay, and then on my limiter, I will do this to where I got a preset already set up to where this will go to minus 6 decibels. I mix everything to the kick at minus 6. That's just what I do. The kick I mix to minus 6, not all the sounds, right? I mix the kick to minus 6, and then I adjust the sounds accordingly to where they sound good to the kick at that level, and then later I will add some, after I bounce it and everything, I will add it to some sort of a master chain and bring it back up with compressors and clippers and all of that other good stuff. But anyways, yeah, so I make sure that the kick is hitting. And then before I do that, though, I will pop this. Oop, I don't know why I just did that. That's not even the right thing, right? Don't do that. That's not the right knob. Don't touch this knob. You don't need to. Okay, right here. Put this into the mono or merged or whatever. Okay. What was it? I don't know. I heard it through, grapevine, listening to interviews or whatever else. That if I think Dr. Dre told somebody that if you can make it sound great in mono crappy speakers, it'll sound awesome on great stereo speakers, right? Sounds like it makes sense. Seems legit. Anyways, I don't really want to hook up crappy speakers, so I'll just do the mono part, right? So I pop it into mono, and I mix from here, and it's been doing me great so far. So get to where you just get the kick, right? And see, I've already got this adjusted so that it's hitting right there. Just take a little bit off of the top or whatever, just a little off the top, son. And that's working there. Okay, it's hitting that 6. Now this one here, I've done the exact same thing with this kick, low pass at 5K, and then it's got a limiter at 6, -6, and it's already set up to where it's hitting. See, it's just got like a little bit of a tap right there, which is good. Okay. But this is a secondary kick, so I don't want it to hit as hard as the primary kick. So I'm gonna drop it down to, like, I don't know, let's say -3, right? And just in case, because I want my kick to always be in that middle of the sound, I'm going to mono both of those, or merge rather, right? Okay, next I've got the first snare, and I've already got a limiter put on here, and I put the limiter at, what did I put this limiter at? That looks really low. I don't remember what it is. What is this? I've got lots of presets. You know what I'm saying? Presets that I make myself. So what is that? Probably a 10. I think I have it at a -10, right? It just helps me to make sure that that's where I'm putting that volume at for that snare. Obviously, that's where I usually put it at for claps, for all of that stuff. I put it at that -10. It seems to work for me. It's by no means a golden rule, all right? So don't crucify me in the comments, or do. I don't care. Lots of comments, good or bad. Anyways. So I also put a high pass filter on it. I cut it at around 200 hertz. Because anything below that, I feel like, is the kick and the bass domain, right? So that's what I leave it open for. Transient sounds, can they muddy up a track, or make it boxy, or does all this stuff. It does these things, but what EQing does is it helps to clear all that out, and it makes room for these particular sounds. You want the kick to hit hard, right? So move everything else out of its way, or everything that doesn't belong there out of its way. And if you get these little floating transient sounds cut out, little transient sounds down here, see, I don't know if all these transient sounds down here, right? I don't know if you can see that, but it just helps to clean all of that up. You know what I mean? Just helps to clean all of that up. So I keep forgetting that I've got all of these things here on my secondary screen. Duh, right? And you guys have probably not been able to see what I'm talking about with with any of this stuff, have you? Okay, you guys can see that. Okay, yeah. All right. Anyways, so yeah, here's the limiter for the snare. Okay. Yep. There it is. And there's the EQ. Okay. Yep. That works. All right. So next, I'm going to be bringing in the next snare 2. And again, this is secondary, so I want it to be lower. Right. And then what I do with my second and my third snare is I always pan them to the side a little bit. See, right there. Alright, and then of course this has got you can see the transients on this one. See that? So pull it to 200. That's a good spot. It's not cutting out any of the important sounds from the snare, and it's opening up room for the kick and anything else that you got in the lower frequencies. Just my preference. Okay, so next you got the next snare, right? And this has got like that little pop, 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 right, part in there. So like you might want to give that you might want to keep a little bit of juice on that so it's still hitting well. Right, and I'm gonna do the same thing with this. I'm gonna pan it off to the side, and I am going to cut out the bottoms. So you can see the transients on that too. See, the main hit part is hitting around this 200. You got a bright spot going there. So, you know, I'm keeping the main sound without you know, while still cleaning it up, right? So, there you go. So, okay, and now I'll put it back, right? And hear how it sounds in stereo. See? Maybe a little less. Alright. So there's that sound. Okay. Now, there's the bouncy drums we were talking about. Now let's go ahead and add in the rest of the music. Get out of here. Get out of here. Oh. 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 Right? Show them the O face. So, yeah. And then, you know, pop in your hi-hats, and you got your snare, and then you got the vibe, bruh. Right? Okay, so that's how I do my bouncy drums. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed that. If you got something out of it, please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment. Leave lots of comments, good or bad. I really don't care. You know what I'm saying? Follow me on all my social links. They'll be down in the description. Please do that. And I'll also have links for kits, drum kits, MIDI kits, preset kits, all that type of kits. No Kit Kats, but you know what I'm saying. Yeah, so I hope you guys dug it. Yep, peace out. Later.